I'm gonna go on a mini rant here. Just a little PSA for you guys. Okay, people in their late 20s, early 30s that are single. Is dating not trash? Am I the only one who thinks that? If you're in a relationship and you've been thinking, the grass might be greener on the other side. It's not. The grass is dead, babe. It's dead because nobody watered it. Because the amount of effort it would have took to water it couldn't be found.
Yo, what is going on, guys? I hope you are all doing well. So on today's episode, we are going to be taking a look at some women who once again are struggling to find love over the age of 30. A lot of these girls have found out that, the grass was not greener on the other side when they decided to leave their husbands, boyfriends, or etc. So guys, don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments as we jump in. And guys, don't forget to go and subscribe to Detective Warg for going through the pain of putting together today's video for us to laugh at. So without further ado, let's just jump right into the video.
We need to talk about being single in your late 20s and early 30s because it's ghetto out here. The one thing that I absolutely hate is having conversations with people who are in long-term relationships or who are already married about dating. I hate this topic and it gives me so much anxiety. Conversation usually goes like this. Do you want to be married? Yes. Okay, so what are you looking for? And then I tell them what I'm looking for. And the response is always how I need to either lower or adjust my desires and expectations in order to be married or find a partner.
Yeah, so isn't it really aggravating when people give you a sensible response? Yes, if a woman is wanting to be married and she does not have a husband and she does not have a long-term partner, but she wants these things, the only thing standing between her and achieving those things are her standards. Now, you can complain about the dating market or whatever people call it these days as much as you want, okay? But if you don't have a man, it's because you are choosing to not have a man. Typically, the dudes that you're actually attracted to don't want you.
It's giving settle. It's giving settle. It's getting subtle for less. I don't think the people who have these conversations with me are intentionally trying to crush my self-esteem, trying to set fire to my hopes and desires and expectations, but you kind of are.
Man, I'm probably going to get a strike for saying this, okay? But I'm going to try and say this in the nicest way possible. This woman reminds me of the receptionist from Monsters, Inc. And she is sitting here talking about, here are the things that I deserve and my expectations, and I don't want to settle. Cool, ma'am. If you don't want to settle, that's fine. But guess what? The men that you want probably aren't interested in dating you. That's the way it goes. I don't make the rules. I'm just an animated vampire on the internet. You can take it or leave it, but if you don't want to take it, you're going to continue to be single.
Because you're in a roundabout way telling me that the things that I'm hoping for and desire aren't attainable to me for some reason. And most of these conversations, like I said, are with people who are married or are in long-term relationships. So you have the partner that you wanted, that you chose, maybe even that you settled for, but it was still your choice. So why can't I have that? And another thing, I'm a woman of faith.
Oh, for goodness sake, man. Why do we have to we always start to bring in discussions about faith when we hit 30 years of age and you can't find a good man. If you were truly a woman of faith, you would have solved this problem a long time ago. Guys, truthfully, this is something that really concerns me. I think a lot of girls bring this up because they're looking for dudes who are of faith, even though they themselves might not be, or even though they themselves recently turned to it. It's kind of like, these girls are going here because they want a man of faith, and it's just a really disturbing thing to me to bring up. Like, why are you bringing this into the conversation at all?
I'm not saying that God is going to choose my partner for me. He may, if I ask him to, but I do have
What?
this submitted to him, and I'm trusting him to bring the right person into my life at the right timing, just like he's done with everything else. So when I'm communicating a desire that I have, a hope and expectation, and it's met with the response that it needs to be adjusted, it's not just a matter of a relationship, it is a matter of faith, for me at least. And also, I know that there's some aspect to it that does involve age and people's expectation, or society or culture's expectation of what your life should look like in your late 20s or early 30s as a woman. But that's being now projected onto me. And I do feel like sometimes people are telling me to accept less because of my age or where I am in life. And I just need everybody to know it's not that hard to find a husband, but it is hard to find the right one. And I'm waiting and trusting God for the right one. So y'all, if you feel me on this, if you've had experiences like this, if you get where I'm coming from, please let me know that I'm not alone in the comments. And if you're like me and you're not entertaining a bunch of different people because you're trusting God to bring the right person into your life, we're in this together. Okay, bye.
Okay,
Guys, I typically steer clear of discussions surrounding religion on this channel, mainly because I don't think I'm knowledgeable enough to talk about it. But I'm going to take a stab in the dark here and say that, you know, the Lord is not a vending machine for your desires, okay? God does not have to give you things simply because you ask for them. I don't understand this, like, this level of entitlement where people don't seem to understand that things take work. You know, I can say, oh, well, I want a Greek god body, but, you know, at the end of the day, if I don't want to go to the gym, guess whose fault it is that I don't have it? It's nobody else's fault. It's not the fault of God. It's not the fault of your friends who are trying to help you. Okay, it's just your own entitlement. I really don't think that using, you know, faith as your personal vending machine for your desires is a good way to go about it. But that's just my opinion.
okay, I'm gonna go on a mini rant here. Just a little PSA for you guys. Okay, people in their late 20s, early 30s that are single. Is dating not trash? Am I the only one who thinks that? If you're in a relationship and you've been thinking, the grass might be greener on the other side. It's not. The grass is dead, babe. It's dead because nobody watered it. Because the amount of effort it would have took to water it couldn't be found.
So I'm going to take a guess here and say that this woman either left her marriage or left her relationship for a guy that she thought would be better, only to find out that she couldn't get commitment from that guy. And guess what? I have absolutely no sympathy. And notice how, get this, guys. So she just, you know, told us basically that she left a relationship for grass that was supposedly greener on the other side. And then she tries to blame it on the grass. Like, get that. So she takes absolutely no accountability for the fact that she left and then she didn't get what she wanted. She blames it on the grass on the other side by saying that it requires watering that there's not enough water for. Right? You see what she did there? Like, just absolutely no accountability taken whatsoever.
Not over here. That's me every day, looking for a little bit of effort. I like to think that I am a flexible person.
You are only a flexible person, you know, when it comes to your schedule, etc., when the dude is attractive enough to you, by the way, guys. Like, let me just make this absolutely clear, because this is something that a lot of girls like to say on their TikToks. They'll say, you know, I'm reasonable, I can adjust my schedule, I'm always looking out to be considerate of your time, why aren't you being considerate of my time? Guys, I want to make it absolutely clear that these girls are only considerate, you know, of the dude's time when the dude doesn't want them, when the dude's quite attractive, when the guy, you know, is incredibly appealing to her. If you're an average Joe, if you're not attractive to the girl, guys, she doesn't care about your time. She doesn't respect your time.
That I'm accommodating, maybe sometimes too much. But baby, I have been asking people out on dates. I have been planning the dates. I have been moving my schedule around, all for a person to cancel on me last minute. The audacity.
Yeah, so number one, welcome to what men experience all of the damn time if they're still choosing to date. Number two, don't care, since you have the option to not go through this whole process and simply choose a man who actually wants you.
Sorry, that was a Dear Diary post. But I'm really not that sorry, because You can click through if you want. But I just felt like it was like a relatable post because I do have a lot of friends who are kind of in a similar situation, and I think that they can relate. And I'm not just talking about, this isn't just a guy's thing. Like, this is also girls. I have guy friends that say the same thing. So, you know, I feel like it's relatable on both sides.
Relatable, sure, but are they the same? Absolutely not. Again, guys, this is like the equivalent of like a millionaire complaining about the financial situation. You know, someone who has like 30 million sitting in the bank and they're complaining about the price of a cup of coffee. And it's like, yeah, the price of coffee went up for both of you, but you have $30 million in the bank.
But I am very fortunate to have precious friendships and relationships with people that are non-romantic and fulfill like a lot of need for connection with people. And so I'm really grateful for that as well. But yeah, I don't know. I just had like a little, I was in my feels. Okay.
I've been trying to get back into the dating game for the last 7 months. So I didn't know where to start. I started with Tinder. I actually got kicked off. I moved on to Hinge because I heard a lot of good reviews and there was like nothing there for me at all. Then I moved on to Bumble. But with Bumble, you have to, like, the woman has to approach first. And to me, at first I was like, oh, this is pretty cool because, you know, I have the power over who I contact or whatever. But I don't know. So these dating apps have 3 kinds of men. One, the men who tells you up front, like, hey, I don't want anything. I just want to bang you, which is fair. Second guy who pretends that he doesn't want to bang you, but he really wants to bang you. And the last type of guy is the guy who actually does want to get married, and they want to get married like right now.
And don't forget dude number 4, who is completely invisible to you, that you don't give a crap about because he's not attractive enough to you. Even though he might be an average guy and he might look all right, but he's not, that giga chad. Guys, if you think that I'm, completely lying when I say stuff like this, I would encourage you guys to look up. Manosphere did a really good video on this. I don't remember the exact title for it. It might even be his most recent one if you're watching this at the time of release. But if you guys look at the Tinder swiping statistics and you actually take a look at who women are swiping on dating applications, across all women, guys, they are swiping on less than 5% of dudes. Now, what do you bet that less than 5% is an incredibly overlapping number of the dudes who actually look attractive? So you're all competing for a very small subset of men. That leaves like 95% of dudes. So don't give me this crap of like, oh, here's the only types of men I come across. No, they're simply the only types of men that you're actually choosing.
I appreciate the men who are upfront and who just say, hey, I just want to bang. That's cool. I don't like the guys that are like lying about what their intentions are, but at the same time, the guys who want to get married, they scare me. What's wrong with me?
How to avoid situationships in 60 seconds or less. Men will keep us in a gray area as long as we allow them to. And if you're looking for a relationship, it is okay to ask him what he is looking for, what he wants, what his intentions are. I honestly used to be terrified of asking this question. I don't want to come on too strong. You have to be asking these questions. You are doing yourself a disservice if you are not asking the correct questions in the beginning. As women, we should be doing this to weed out the people that are not for us. If you're not asking the right questions, and it's stuck in this loop where you both catch feelings and then you find out that he doesn't want the same things as you, and then you just wasted all of this time when you could have just asked in the very beginning. Do not assume that just because he's giving you that boyfriend-like treatment that he wants the same thing. I was recently talking to this guy for a couple days. Finally, was like, why don't I ask him, because I'm starting to feel him a little bit. The back and forth questions, the long ass FaceTimes, the hanging out all day. I asked him and he's not looking for a relationship. Just because they're giving you this treatment, asking the right questions and getting to know you, that doesn't mean they're in the phase of their life where they can commit to you. And when
The fact that this is even a thing is absolutely astounding to me. Yes, if the dude doesn't give you a relationship, he doesn't want a relationship. I don't understand why it's so hard for these girls to understand, man. And I don't know if I had that clip a little bit too low volume-wise, but basically it's like, if you're the type of woman who needs advice on how to avoid a situationship, you are so far lost that I don't even know where to start.
you do ask, take the power into your hands. Don't ask him, oh, what are you looking for? I mean, you can, but then say what you are looking for. I think it's better if you start off by saying, hey, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I want. I wanted to know if we were on the same page. When you ask, one of three things is going to happen. He's either going to say, hey, I do want a relationship. I'm looking for something serious. That gives you the green light to go ahead and pursue the relationship. Number two, he's say no, like I don't want a relationship, and thank you for being a man and being honest about what your intentions are. You can't fault him for this either. Do not be mad about what he's looking for because he's still trying to figure it out. Or number three, he's going to give you the runaround, the I'm going with the flow, I'm just seeing where things go, I'm seeing if I vibe with anyone. If this is his answer, please take that as a sign to get up and go, because this man does not know what he's looking for, and until a man is ready to settle down, if he's at that phase in his life, he will know and he will be very clear about it. If he doesn't know what he wants, you're wasting your own time.
See, guys, I actually agree with this woman, what she's saying, right? My problem is, why does this even need to be said at all? Like, it's incredibly insane to me. Like, yes, if the dude doesn't want a relationship and you want one, you shouldn't be there. Okay? That's the amazing thing, like, that girls even need this advice at all. And to me, it shows a real just lack of father figures in the household. This is what happens when you incentivize women to become single mothers, to throw men out of the household, to treat their fathers like trash, to treat their brothers like trash, to not respect men in any capacity. Like, I understand that respect is earned, but, you know, at least treat men as though they're humans, right? That's what happens when you remove all of this crap from society, is you end up with TikTok videos of girls trying to explain to each other how to avoid situationships. What a society we live in, man. But I actually agree with the woman, right? You should try and secure the commitment up front. If the dude's not interested in giving commitment or is giving you the runaround, then leave if you're looking for a relationship. But the thing is, again, why is this even a thing? Number one. Number two, why do we only care about this when you're over 30 years of age? You know, you could have been doing this since the beginning, but you want to have your boss queen phase, you want to run around, get with a whole bunch of random dudes, and then be like, oh, wow, I don't know how that happened.
If you choose to stay after he says that he does not want the same things, you will not attract what you're actually looking for if you're stuck with someone who is not for you and it doesn't want the same things. I vibed so hard with him and it was very hard to let go, but I like me and I know what I'm looking for, so letting him go was the best thing that I could do for myself. Anyway, stay strong. You deserve a loving and happy and healthy relationship with someone who actually wants you and is ready for you.
Man, I should start asking my editor to just bleep out the word deserve. Like, it's actually sickening how much it's said throughout these videos. Like, oh, I deserve this, I deserve that. Like, absolute insanity to me. But, you know, of course she has to wrap up the videos with deserve. And guys, when she says that she was vibing with the dude, okay, or she got along really well with him, basically that just means the dude was attractive. You know, they had a lot of quote-unquote fun together. Right, and that's really what it means. Like, all this talk of like vibe and connection really just means that the dude is physically attractive enough to her. Guys, we are going to be leaving today's episode there. As always, remember to leave your thoughts and your comments. And guys, don't forget to go and subscribe to Detective Warg for putting together today's episode for us to cringe at. And guys, make sure you take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next episode. Peace.